You've been called gifted for so long, you don't know how to admit you're still hiding. You've done everything right, you've got the degrees, you earned the praise, and you carried the titles. You're the one people depend on, look up to, and lean into. But behind all that excellence and brilliance, there's still a part of you wondering, when is it safe to finally show all of me? And let's be real, you don't just hold back because you are scared. You held back because life taught you that being fully expressed is dangerous. So you learned how to shine in curated doses. Today, we're breaking that because being gifted and guarded can't coexist in your next level. This is the episode where we name the hiding place and burn the blueprint. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Remarkable Edge Live series show. This is the recalibrated era where high-achieving visionaries break free from recycled success models and finally step into their true alignment. This isn't just about leadership talk or motivational fluff. This is where brilliance gets recalibrated, blind spots get dismantled, and bold authority gets activated. Here, we don't chase trends, but we do build legacies with precision. We don't just talk mindset, we rewire identities. And we don't just develop leaders, we unlock generational change agents. I'm your host, Dr. V, the Brilliant Solutionist and Master Recalibration Strategist for brilliance, authority, and precision. And if you're ready to stop second guessing and start executing and rise into the version of you that's always been hiding in plain sight, let's go ahead and shift remarkably. So I want you to understand that you didn't shrink, but you did strategize. And let's start here. If you've been holding back, it's not because you're weak. I want to say that again. If you've been holding back, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're brilliant enough to have survived using strategy instead of vulnerability. And if I am touching a nerve, if I'm at your doorstep, go ahead and comment down below and let me know. So you got the message early. Don't be too loud. Be ambitious, but humble. Be powerful, but be polite. And you've built an armor disguised as achievement. You've created personas, the thought leader, the corporate queen, the CEO, the team fixer, insert your whatever title. I even have a moniker, right? And I'm careful to make sure that it is not armor disguised as achievement. So let me know what your armor has been. Again, comment down below. And what's wild? Those roles were real. They worked. They served a purpose. They got you where you needed to be. But now they are restraining the full expression of the woman you've become. And I do have a few good men that's listening to me, and you may struggle with this as well. Or if you have some female friends that you can identify, some of these traits, then go ahead and share this episode with them. So you're not underdeveloped, but you are unveiled. So let me say that again. You're not underdeveloped, but you are unveiled. I should say that. So you are under unveiled, right? You've been performing a version of yourself that everyone respects, but only you know the real you still hasn't made her debut. How many of you can resonate with that? So you understand that the guard looks good, but it does cost you. So let's break the illusion. Guardedness isn't always shyness. It looks like over preparing instead of sharing. It looks like asking, is this too much before you speak? And it looks like being everyone's support system, but never fully revealing your own soul. So here's the thing about being guarded. It makes you safe, but it also keeps you invisible at your highest frequency. And we're not talking about woo-woo type of things, but we all know that there's an aura or an air, or there's a level that you can vibrate, and you can tell the difference when you're operating at your highest level versus when you are operating as your quote unquote unseen, level. And in this season of your life, invisibility is just way too expensive. Whether that's you in your corporate space, or whether that's you in your business space, or really pretty much any area of your life, it is still costing you something. It may not be a monetary thing, but it's still costing you something. And whatever that cost is too expensive for you to charge it to the game. All right. So you didn't come this far to be applauded for your discipline and never be celebrated for your depth. Let me say that again. You did not come this far to be applauded for your discipline and never be celebrated for your depth. A lot of us are out here, I'm gonna say you because I'm talking to you. You're out here doing the thing, and showing like all of your habits and your productivity and everything, but then no one really knows how brilliant you truly are because they only see what you put out and you really haven't put out the true depth of knowledge that you have. So you're looking at people who may be flashing on the scene, but they cannot touch your brilliance and what you can bring and what you can offer. But because you haven't showed up, that's where people gravitate towards. And so right now, I am celebrating all of you, hand claps all around, and I'm celebrating the depth that you currently have. You don't need to learn anything else at this point. Now, don't get me wrong, we are lifelong learners, but you don't have to keep learning something, but you do need to celebrate your own depth, and I'm celebrating that with you. So understand that your brilliance doesn't need better branding. And I had to say this to myself as well. Your brilliance doesn't need better branding, but it needs to be unleashed. So let me put it this way. You've built the designer life, the accolades are real, and the recognition is earned. And we're not taking anything away from you. I don't want you to go and burn it all down. Like we talked about that in a previous episode. You don't have to burn it down to showcase your brilliance. But with all of that, you're walking around with the Birkin bag energy and still whispering your worth. And if you're new here, when I talk about the Birkin reframe, this is not just material like type of, conversation. But when you think about, just the Birkin bag, because it's one of those high end, ridiculously priced bags, but I just love it. It's not that I want them, but I just like the presence that they give. And we're not talking about, how to, the terror shine the light on it. But it's like when you go in there and it is exclusive, everyone can't get it, everyone can't touch it. It's a process that you have to go through. You can't just go and pick up this bag. You have to be on the list and everything. That's the type of energy I am talking about. Your brilliance is Birkin level worth of energy. Like everyone shouldn't have access to it. It is exclusive. You don't just give it away and things like that. You have to walk in that type of energy. But guess what? People who carry those, it's like a vibe that they give off, and you want to show up like that with your presence and your energy as well, knowing your worth. You don't want to whisper it. So the Birkin isn't loud, but it's like when people know, like we've seen celebrities or just not just people, they can dress in sweatpants, right? But when they have that bag, it's still like that bag overshadows all of that, right? And you want to have that type of energy. You don't have to showcase all these things, but your brilliance and your worth should exude that. So let me know if that's landing for you. So it's time to stop protecting what's making you powerful. I'm going to say it again. It's time to stop protecting what makes you powerful. You're not just here to lead, but you are here to liberate. Okay. And so the shift starts with clarity. Now, let me say this because I said this in one of my previous shows. Let's not make clarity an idol. Clarity is not just let me know every single outcome or let me know every single possible way before I get started. Clarity starts with, oh, this is direction. Cool. Now I'm going to take action, and understanding that that clarity is going to come from the next step. So more clarity is going to come with the next step. But what you're really focusing on is having courageous clarity. Like once I get the idea, I'm going to have the courage to move forward. And so this is not about adding more. I want to be clear about that. It is about showing up as more. You're already more, but you need to show up as if, like as you are. And so if you are hearing this message for yourself today and you're feeling this tension between who you've been and who you know you're becoming, then you need more than just a motivational podcast moment, okay? You don't need any more motivation. I know you have a playlist full of things, but what you do need is a mirror. And that's why I created the Authority Builder Snapshot. So it's not a worksheet, it's not just a quiz, but it is a precision recalibration tool for high-level women who are overexposed and underexpressed. It shows you where you're leaking your authority, where your brilliance isn't being translated, and what's actually stopping you from becoming undeniable. So be sure to take it today. The link is in the description or in my bio, or you can go to Drvernitaglennwhite.com/authority snapshot. And because I want you to have a starting point of you are here before you jump into anything else, any more programs, any more coaching, any more mastermind. You need to understand where you are. And this assessment is completely complementary because I don't want any more people out here just going around in circles trying to figure out what's next when they haven't identified where they are right now and making sure that they are aligned into their vision. But if you skip this, you will be building your future with the blueprint that's designed by your past. Let me say that again. If you don't take a hard look at where you are right now, stripping away all of those other things, if you operate from where you have been, then you're going to keep signing up for things. You're going to keep going in the direction of things that no longer serve you. And I don't want that for you. Okay. So when I do the after hours show that's coming up, I'm going to share the moment that I realized I was still guarding parts of my story, even while teaching others how to show up. I even wrote a whole book, Embracing Grit for Greatness, Becoming Professionally Powerful Through Personal Empowerment. And I do share a lot of my story and the tips and tools I use to come to be at the top of my game, hit a rock bottom, and then come out of that. But I also know that there are still parts that I haven't shared before. And I realized that that was not the thing. I was still operating as gifted, guided, but still guarded. So I don't want you to continue to operate in that space either. So I'll unpack what it means to build a platform with your unmasked identity and how I walk women through that inside my VIP Legacy Architect Day. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss that conversation. So make sure you follow me on social media platforms so you'll get the notification when I go live for that. So if you're ready to recalibrate what authority means to you in this season now and in your next season, be sure to grab the Authority Builder Snapshot. And it is your starting point for courageous clarity and alignment. It is your first bold move toward reclaiming your category of one with precision, no fluff, no formulas, just powerful clarity on how to shift from performance to personal power. That's what a lot of you need to do. Shift from performance to your personal power. And for those of you who are ready and it's like, I either took it or I just want to go ahead and dive in. I've done the work. Now I'm ready to build from my whole self. Then there's a rare opportunity that I am opening up for VIP Legacy Architect Day. It's a private high-level recalibration designed to help you architect your next era with intention and excellence. So you can make sure you listen and know when I go live, or just comment down below or message me on my platforms, Legacy Architect Day, so I know that you're interested. Now, again, this isn't just to just sell you something for the sake of selling it, but this is, you do want to have that conversation of, is this where I even need to be? I've seen a lot of people go and dive into things, or they avoid getting on calls with people. But think about it, when you went to college or in your corporate space, there was either an interview or you had to answer questions. There was some kind of thing that was happening before you actually enrolled into something. But a lot of times we jump into these, programs, coaching, whatever it is, without that conversation. Either we avoid it because we're like, oh, they're going to sell me something, or we just dive in and then be upset when we don't get the results. Give yourself the gift of a conversation. I've talked to so many people, and whether they work with me or not, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because now I know what to do next. And even if it did not work, even if they did not work directly with me, they were still grateful for that call. I myself have been on calls with, I think I want to move forward with this particular program, or be inside of this type of mastermind, but let me have the conversation. And then I realized, that's not exactly for me. I need to focus on this, but I wouldn't have known that unless I gave myself the gift of the conversation. So I'm inviting you for not just a conversation. This is not just your typical book a call, but you need to make sure that you're not stuck. So don't allow yourself to stay stuck. You can be confused, and we can tweak that. But if you allow yourself to be overwhelmed, that is a strategy. So don't allow yourself to sit in overwhelm. Okay. And so I want to call you into this recalibrated level in your next season, but it really starts right now. I want you to understand that being gifted, guided, and guarded was necessary for survival. We all had to do things to get to where we needed to be. But your legacy won't be built from that version of you because you're still editing your power. We have to unleash and unhook whatever that has been before, because it is no longer serving us. It is no longer serving you. So this episode spoke to you, then you are ready to shift. It is time for you to shift. So again, start with the Authority Builder Snapshot, and don't delay your liberation just because the world is still clapping for your limitations. I don't care how great those limitations are. I got 5 degrees. And I've done some amazing things in my previous seasons of my life, and those things were great. But if I'm still operating from that space, knowing what the vision is that I have for myself, my family, my future, and all those things, that is not going to serve me well. So I am liberating myself, and I want to make sure that you liberate yourself and stop running towards the vanity metrics of the applause for your limitations, because they're going to be silent one day, and then you have to ask yourself, what am I still holding on to? So again, take the snapshot, connect with me for the after hours show, because you're not just gifted, you are called. And it's time that the world meets the unguarded version of yourself. And if you are like hesitant about showing up as her, again, please connect with me and we can move forward and we can work through those things. And because I want you to know that your shift isn't optional, it is overdue, and power isn't given, it is exuded, just like that Birkin bag, right? Yes, and there are people who get that bag and you're like, well, who are you? But it's something about what comes out of them when they carry something like that. And I want you to understand that your brilliance, your worth, and all of who you are without anything, that is your power right there. And you get to exude that. So move like you've already claimed it and stay remarkable. And I will see you for your next shift. Until next time.